Hey there everyone, happy Tuesday. I'm King 5 meteorologist Adam Claybon. So pretty decent, nice even summer afternoon again here across the state of Washington. Plenty of sunshine out there and very warm temperatures too, which we're going to see more of heading into the day for tomorrow. Maybe even a chance of some thunderstorms around too, especially into the higher terrain. We'll talk more about that here in a second, but I did want to first get into what's been happening with our recent earthquake over towards Russia and the tsunami that we're now keeping an eye on for moving across the Pacific and how that could impact us here as we head on into the night and where we kind of stand right now as far as what kind of threat level we're at with this tsunami. So let's get into it right now. You can see the big red blob showing up there across Russia. That's our earthquake that registered at about 8.7, 8.8 on the Richter scale. So it was a big one. And so that's why we're concerned about the potential tsunami. And you can see as you go farther south, down there around Hawaii, that might be one of the first spots impacted by this. They actually have tsunami warnings that have been issued for those areas and down there. For us, they have been more tsunami advisories. So what exactly does that mean for us? Well, they want to start off with this right here. Tsunami advisories, which has been an upgrade from our tsunami watch that we saw earlier, is basically we go from a tsunami watch, which is a tsunami is potentially possible. Could affect the area. We get up to an advisory that's when we start to notice some information coming in. We start to see some information telling us that there is a wave that's moving across the ocean, and there could be some strong currents to go along with that. Maybe a bigger wave here and there. It doesn't really necessarily mean though that we will see flooding impacts from said big wave or some of the currents that could be around. So that's where we are as far as the advisory is concerned. So with Hawaii being more around a warning right now, that's where you have and when you have more of an imminent threat when it comes to a potential tsunami that could be affecting areas there. So not something that we have to be overly concerned about right now here across not only just the Washington coast, but up and down the entire west coast of the United States. But it's something that we definitely want to take seriously. I showed you some times right there. Let's get into that again. You can see the potential timing, if we are going to see that, will be later tonight, closer to about 11 to 11:30. La Push around 11:35. Long Beach coming in at about 11:45 tonight. Port Angeles just a bit after midnight, and Port Townsend getting closer to 12:45. And here even getting closer to Puget Sound, South Sound, Tacoma. That will be around 2 o'clock late tonight. And you can see those areas shaded in orange. That's where we have those tsunami advisories that are in effect right now. And again, big picture is that extends all the way down the west coast down to California and even includes areas over towards Hawaii as well as that tsunami warning that they're dealing with more of an imminent threat when it comes to the larger waves. We'll keep you updated on this. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor the information coming into the buoys, what's happening down in Hawaii, and we'll see what we need to do as far as giving you the information and what you might need to do as far as maybe taking some action if we are going to see anything big down there. But definitely want to get the information in from Hawaii first to see exactly what we are going to be potentially dealing with here as we head on into the night. What we are going to be dealing with here, though, tomorrow will be the potential for some thunderstorm activity, and we are seeing that across generally the Cascades and the eastern side of the state, but maybe some of that into the foothills, too, as we head into the day for tomorrow. And also on top of that, thunderstorm activity, especially with limited moisture, could mean dry lightning, and that's something that we wouldn't like to see because that could possibly mean some dry lightning sparking a fire or two. And it's been really dry here recently, so we don't do that at all. So we'll see how much rain we can get out some of those storms tomorrow. We'll have a better chance of seeing some of the rain heading into Thursday, not only just in the mountains, but also across the higher terrain and in the lowlands too. And then we'll head on into, looks like, the latter part of the work week and through the Seafair weekend, cooling down, seeing partly cloudy skies and some of those clouds definitely around during the morning hours, but a hot one all the way for tomorrow morning. We'll get into that here in just a bit. Let's talk about the potential for thunderstorms tomorrow. And what you're seeing right here in these yellow shadings is where we have some of that CAPE or convection, some really potential energy, convective available potential energy here in the atmosphere. And we see that die off during the nighttime hours because we lose some of that heating during the day, and then it comes back as we head into the afternoon hours. And you can see that really flaring up into the day for tomorrow. And not only just flaring up, but you can see some areas that are a bit more darker with the yellow shading and maybe even some oranges popping up kind of here and there. That's where some of that energy could be a bit stronger to help to fire off some of those storms heading on into the day for tomorrow. Now it's going to die off again as we head on into tomorrow night and then start to flare up again heading into Thursday. But by that time, a lot of the energy is heading farther east across the state. And we could see the potential of maybe a few storms across the Olympics, but I think we're going to keep a lot of this across the Cascades and for areas farther to the east. Now, what that will mean as far as any potential rain out of this, well, again, tomorrow we told you about the potential for dry lightning, and we just don't really have a whole lot of that moisture popping up with these storms. And where you're noticing some of the greens, especially the darker greens, that's where we have the higher likelihood of getting some rain out of these storms. But there's limited amounts of that. And then we'll head on into the day on Thursday, and there's more moisture around, but at that time too, we're seeing a lot of the energy for this thunderstorm potential beginning to head its way off to the east. But some of this could sneak also into areas across the lowlands. Maybe just rain, but maybe even a few thunderstorms to go along with that. But going to be tough to get that up and over the Cascades. That starts to die off as we head into Thursday evening. That's 5 p.m. on heading into Thursday. And then we'll see a lot more of that moisture and the thunderstorms across eastern Washington heading on into Friday. Now, rainfall with this, how much rain do we actually get out of this at all? Let's go ahead and talk about that, because there's really not a ton of rain that could be in place, but you can see here as we head over the next 24, 48, 36 hours, maybe a tenth, 2/10, or getting closer to a third of an inch of rain, and most of that showing up across the higher terrain. Again, not really much showing up, at least on models, of that impacting us here in the lowlands, so I wouldn't get too excited about getting any rain here for some of our lowland spots. As far as the highs tomorrow, on top of the dry lightning, it's going to be hot. So it's going to be a drier air mass, highs around Puget Sound and the Kitsap Peninsula, mid to upper 80s, even closing in on the 90-degree mark down across spots such as Shelton and in Olympia and in Puyallup. You go up towards Seattle, we're at 86, and then you see quite the difference there from what we're noticing in Everett. It's at 76 degrees, a little more of that influence from off of the strait, keeping things a bit cooler there. But for us, yeah, farther south, it's going to be a pretty hot one yet again heading into Wednesday. And then looking at your 7-day forecast, we have the hotter weather around for tomorrow along with some of the showers and storms. Then things start to quiet back down, and by the time we head into Thursday, we have more of the clouds in place. That will keep us cooler to go along with maybe a few showers that could be in place at that point, and then we'll quiet down as we head into Friday and for the rest of the Seafair weekend, where it looks like conditions will be pretty nice for us. And of course, we have some of those Blue Angels that are going to be out, and we want to make sure that the conditions are right for them. So thankfully, it looks like we're going to be A-OK here as we head on into the end of the weekend through the weekend. But hey, everyone, keep an eye out for some of those storms tomorrow, and still make sure that you are aware and keeping up to date as far as what's happening tonight with our potential tsunami. We're going to keep you updated as much as possible. We'll continue to gather the information from the buoy data, from what's happening in Hawaii, and we'll let you know if there's anything new to report on. All right, everyone, stay safe. Take care. Have a good night.